I'm Rene Ritchie, and I'm watching the Apple October 2020 event live stream, and here are my real-time analysis and reactions to the brand new, brand small, brand mini HomePod right now. Sponsored by CuriosityStream with Nebula. Yeah, HomePod mini, and it is much smaller, much rounder, much cuter. So now the whole top of the screen looks like the Siri icon, the Siri molten ball of mighty power. And the design has been changed from a cylinder down to this new round device. And they're focusing right away on the sound quality of it, which was what really set the original HomePod apart. It was the computational audio that let it ingest any source, figure out where the different audio should be in the room, and then project it into that room. But now they're leaning a little bit more into the assistant as well, and of course privacy and security, because that's what Apple uses as a distinguishing characteristic in general. So it looks like in this one, instead of stacking the parts one on top of the other the way that they did with the original iPod, they've got everything built around the center. And they've got moving air up and down still in the same way, but without that vast array that was on the bottom of the original HomePod. And they're using the S5 processor here instead of the A8 that was in the original HomePod, which was an iPhone chip. And now this is an Apple Watch chip, but the A8 is, 6 years old now. And the S series, which instead of being a system on a chip, is a full system in package. So instead of just being the CPU, GPU in a chip, it's the entire computer in a chip. And that just gives it much more capabilities. And it's got a lot of the same engineering architecture that goes into the cores in the A series. The S6 has the core technology from the A13. So this isn't quite that advanced, but it's still much more computational power than any other device in its class is going to have by magnitudes. And they've got the same sort of stereo pair technology that they used with the original HomePod, which I think is even more important here because it's not going to be able to project as much as a full-sized HomePod. It's not going to be able to create as big a soundstage, so there are really strengthened numbers. They're also using the U1 chip, the ultra-wideband chip, which they introduced in the iPhone 11 and is going to be in the iPhone 12 as well. And they're using that so that the HomePod mini can understand how close you are to your iPhone when the iPhone is in proximity, is precisely where it's in proximity, and use that as sort of a way to unlock even more features. And they've got iTunes, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and soon Amazon Music and others as well. And it's curious, I don't think we saw Spotify on that list. So it remains to be seen how all that is going to play out. Now, HomePod mini, like the original HomePod, is going to be controlled by Siri. And Apple went over a lot of the improvements, including faster performance and better capabilities, larger knowledge bases. And it's going to do pretty much what you expect from the large HomePod on the small HomePod. Now, the large HomePod, the original HomePod, was fantastic at isolating your voice. You could have music playing, you could have noise in the room, and if you said the trigger word, if you spoke to Siri, it would still understand what you were saying. It could isolate you. But I'd love to see how this performs comparative to the full-size Siri in terms of just isolating your voice from all the other noise around the house. And it does include the newer technology for Apple. It's been in the industry for a while, but newer for Apple, which is distinguishing the voice between you and the different members of your family, which means if you have different messages, different playlists, different data in general, it can identify you based on your voice and give you the content, playlists, all of the personal data that is meant just for you. And Apple's actually created a whole new systems intelligence team under Sebastian Marino-Mess, which is doing a lot of work in taking Siri technology and just propagating it through everything from interfaces to services. And that's all part of John Giannandrea's new artificial intelligence, machine learning, organization. He came to Apple from Google because he wanted to do artificial intelligence that, according to him, was more ethical, that had more of a conscience, and Apple gave him that opportunity, and he's formed this whole new organization at Apple. And I've been saying for a while now, and I truly believe that John Giannandrea and that machine learning organization is going to be as important to the next decade of Apple as Johnny Srouji and the Silicon organization has been to the last 10 years. It's just taking all of the power and all of the integration that Apple has built up over the last decade and projecting that into ways that we can benefit from it more, that it can do more of the heavy lifting for us, it can do more of the machine part for us, and we can just benefit from easier, more accessible, more ambient interfaces everywhere. Now, the HomePod Mini is also introducing a few new features like an intercom system. So if you have multiple HomePod Minis in your house, you can use them to send messages, not just audio messages, but actually push notification messages to iPhones and Apple Watch as well, which is clever. It's an intercom system that's a little bit like walkie-talkie from the Apple Watch, but really designed to take advantage of the ambience and the connectivity, the integration of the HomePod Mini. Because Apple is so into the privacy and security aspect, like the other HomePod, like any Siri implementation, it is completely offline until you say the trigger word, and only then does it go online. And it's never associated with a permanent ID for you. It has a short-term ID that's cycled so that Apple doesn't keep track of who you are or associate you with anything that you're doing throughout the HomePod Mini. In terms of color, we've got space gray and white, and it comes at $99, and it's becoming up for order. Pre-orders are going available November 6th with shipping November 16th. And it looks like a really good package. It looks like it's optimizing audio, trying to lean in as much as Apple can into convenience, but also hitting a much sweeter, hopefully much more expansive, much more approachable price point for just everybody. Now, I'm going to upload my thoughts on the entire event to Nebula. That's the streaming video platform I'm building alongside thoughtful, educational creators like Jordan Harrod, TechAlter, Thomas Frank, Epos Vox, Polymatter, Braincraft, Jenny Ma, Legal Eagle, and just so many more. Because it's a place where we don't need to worry about rate limits or demonetization or the tyranny of click-through rates or watch time or algorithms, even ads. Yeah, ads. You can find all of my videos there completely ad-free and sometimes with bonus content. For example, you can get both the video and audio version of my new podcast with Georgia Dow, Apple Talk. Not only the Apple topic and the general tech topic, but a special bonus topic as well. And like I said, just the full version of this Apple event video. So I know what you're thinking. What does this have to do with CuriosityStream? Well, as the go-to source for the absolute best documentaries on the internet, they love educational content and thoughtful creators. And so we worked out this deal where if you sign up for CuriosityStream with the link in the description, not only will you get CuriosityStream, but you'll also get a Nebula subscription for free. And for a limited time, CuriosityStream is offering 26% off all of their annual plans. And 26% off is just the best deal you'll find anywhere. So click the link in the description and get both CuriosityStream and Nebula for 26% off. Or you can go to curiositystream.com/ReneRitchie. It's a great way to support this channel and educational, thoughtful content directly for just $14.79 a year. Just click on the link in the description or go to curiositystream.com/ReneRitchie. And clicking on that link just really helps out the channel. For a ton more on the iPhone 12 and just everything else Apple is launching this fall, hit the subscribe button and bell and click on the playlist above. I've already got a bunch of hands-on and reviews on a bunch of products with just way more to come. So click on the playlist and see you next video.